Hey, how's it going? Odell, Outdoors. We're going to take a minute and talk about sharpening up your knives. Now, a while back I showed you this little guy that I put together. It's a 1000 grit diamond hone. You can buy them off of eBay. This is a 400 grit. I don't like the 400 so much. It's a little too heavy for what I need. But to give you an idea of how thin that is, that's how they come to you. And I put this one on a block of wood, and then I put a piece of leather on the back side of it, and I sharpen my knives at home and the axe, even my hatchets, with this one. Now, I started thinking about what can I do to keep my knife sharp out in the woods. When I'm out there, I got to use my knife for whatever reason. It's starting to get dull, and I don't ever let my knives get dull where they're going to get chips and stuff like that in them. But I started thinking about how can I sharpen that up without having to carry that big blocky thing. And I like the leather strop more than I do the hone, because if you're taking care of your knife properly, you shouldn't really ever need to get to this, but maybe just to touch it up a little bit, but definitely the leather strop. So I started thinking of different ways I could do that, and I've got my Mora Garberg here. And I says, well, hey, if I take some of this diamond hone stuff and cut it down, it'll be a lot more compact, and then I put the leather on the back side of that, we'll see what happens. So that's what I come up with. Took this little piece, or I took a regular size one, and it's like 2 inches by 6 inches. I cut it down to 4 inches by 7/8 of an inch, and I glued the leather right on the back side of it. And like you saw, that fits right down inside there. Knife goes in, can't hear it, doesn't rattle around. When you want to take it out, right there it is. Now I sharpened this knife up just using this. I did not use any of these other ones, just use this one. And you can take and strop it like this if you want to. Use it kind of like the ladies do for their nail files, you know. Or you could use it like this, but it's a little small for doing it that way. So I like to use it this way. And I think it's sharp enough. We can do some cutting with that. That's going to do anything I need it to out in the woods. And like I said, the only thing I used to sharpen that with was this little guy right here. So I'm going to take some pictures of it and I'll post it up, let you guys see it. I took an angle grinder to cut the big one down. So I laid it out the dimensions that I wanted to. I took my angle grinder and I cut it out, and then you got to sand the edges. And then it does come with a piece of foam on the back, which I did try using as a strop, and I just don't feel comfortable with that. So I ended up peeling that foam off, and I took some JB Weld, mixed it up. If you've never used JB Weld, it's 2-part epoxy, but equal amounts together, mix it up. And I spread that out in between the two, stuck them together, put it underneath a couple heavy weights overnight, and then I had to sand off the edges of the leather, and there it is. Pretty handy. Can you lose it out in the woods? Yeah. Can you lose your knife out in the woods? Yeah. So, you know, as long as you're careful, put it back in there. If you're wearing this, it's not going to go anywhere. And then when you take it out, there it is. So anyways, I'll take some pictures of it. I'll show them to you. Like I said, those things, they're around $3-4 bucks, something like that. They're cheap. They're cheap on eBay. Maybe $6, I don't know. They're cheap. and the 1000 grit. I don't know if you can see that. It says 1000 on there. The 400's a little too much, a little too coarse for my liking. But you take that 1000 grit diamond hone, leather, gets you sharp enough to do anything you need to. Thanks for watching. Odell Outdoors.